Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
In the delicate arena of compliance, every conversation matters. Traditional methods can leave callers feeling unheard, but Ethico changes the game. Our empathetic interview technique reshapes compliance calls into powerful, compassionate interactions, ensuring no crucial detail is missed. It's about creating a conversation that matters, that resonates, that makes a difference. Be the change in your compliance approach. See the transformation for yourself at ethico.com/CPN. Book a demo, try our free ROI calculator, and explore the white paper by Tom Fox, The ROI of Compliance.
The Daily Compliance News for June 6, 2024, the 80th anniversary of D-Day edition. And we begin with another story, not on D-Day, but we acknowledge the great sacrifice by the Allies to begin to retake Europe from Nazi Germany. Our first story is the SEC is closing its Salt Lake City audit office. As reported by the Wall Street Journal, Risk and Compliance Journal, Mingy Sun reports that they've closed the office after a failed crypto case against DebtBox. The SEC said they cited significant attrition among the staff. Not clear if that's resigning to pursue other opportunities, being terminated, or moving on to greener pastures. But the announcement capped a tumultuous few months at the Salt Lake City office, particularly in connection with the failed enforcement action against DebtBox. The decision, Mingy reported the decision to close the office was related to, but not the sole result of that failure. Next up from the Financial Times, Marcus Braun, the disgraced former CEO at Wirecard, has found himself in more legal hot water because he can't pay his lawyers. So he was forced to let go of his top defense lawyer because of a lack of funds. Alfred Dierlam, one of Germany's prominent white-collar lawyers, walked away from the case after funds from Braun's directors and insurance ran out, and the Wirecard chief apparently is unable to pay him directly for whatever reason. But you don't pay your lawyers, you generally don't get legal services, and I'm sure Donald Trump's finding that out. Next up from the BBC, the first of 2 stories from the BBC, Standard Chartered, one of England's signature banks that escaped prosecution for money laundering, carried out millions of dollars with transactions for funders of terrorist group. This is found in documents filed in a New York court case claiming thousands of transactions, indeed worth more than $100 billion, were carried out from by the bank from 2008 to 2013. An independent expert has identified almost $10 billion of foreign transactions with U.S. government designated terror groups such as Hezbollah, Hamas, Al-Qaeda, and the Taliban. Standard Chartered has denied these allegations, but these are pretty serious going forward. And finally, we've previously talked about the imbroglio around Japanese automakers and their safety programs. Well, Toyota finds itself in a bigger one now as the Japanese Transportation Ministry raided Toyota over faulty safety data checks and balances. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.